Welcome. Thank you so very much for joining me. My name is Kassandra and I'm continuing my short morning yoga chakra series. So I'm going to guide you through this 10 minutes or so morning sacral chakra class. So svadhisthana chakra is the second one, thought to be located around the pelvis. So this practice is all about hip opening poses, really working on flexibility. This is associated with the color orange, and it has to do with themes of creativity, sensitivity, sensuality, sexuality, your ability to go with the flow, your ability to really tap into your emotions and to really create and bring something through into the world. So a really great stretchy practice that can get you in touch with your emotion, your sensitivity overall. No props are required, and because these are kind of deep flexibility poses, it might be best suited for intermediate students, but we're still moving fairly slowly, so nothing too extreme, especially in the morning when most of us are really kind of tight and stiff anyway. So that being said, we are going to begin in our yogi squat malasana pose. So you can widen your feet towards the edges of the mat with your heels in and your toes pointing out slightly. And I'm going to bring my hands, Anjali Mudra, prayer of the heart, using the elbows to push the knees open a little bit wider. And we're trying to sink our hips down nice and low, pressing our shoulders away from the ears. And these morning practices can help us set the intention for the day ahead. And you might choose to use some sacral chakra inspired affirmations. Just internally repeating them, maybe choosing one for your day. This can be, I am sensitive, I am creative, I am in tune with the flow of life. I feel deeply. Whatever resonates to you. And now I want you to really contract your glute muscles, so really squeeze through here. We're going to open up into a twist. So stay in this low squat. You're going to bring your right hand out in a diagonal to the side. Keep that left knee pressing open as you reach your left arm up. So big stretch here as you open through your chest. And go to the other side. So this time you're going to bring your left hand out in that diagonal. Now really squeeze your glutes to keep your right knee opening up and reach your right arm out in that diagonal. Big deep breath. And let's release. Press back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So hands are shoulder width distance apart and you can walk your feet back. So this is our first big stretch, our first downward dog. You can bend your knees as much as you'd like here. And because we're focusing on this svadhisthana chakra, see if you can bring a little bit of fluidity to your hips, kind of swaying a little bit side to side. Breathing in and out through your nose, relax your neck, relax your head. And let's extend our right leg up towards the sky, bend your right knee and really open up that hip. Normally I ask you to keep your shoulders squared, but try not to worry about your upper body so much here. Really focus on the hips, lift that knee up even higher. And we'll step our right foot forward, kind of taking the place of our right hand. So a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, and you can bring your back knee down to the mat. So we're in this lizard pose, a little bit of a wider lunge. And again, I'm just kind of swaying my hips side to side, noticing what sensations are present here. Rolling your shoulders away from your ears. You can lift your right toes off the mat and roll to the outer edge of your right foot. So just changing the sensation through our hips. More of a winged lizard pose. Bring your right foot flat to the floor again here. You're going to tuck the back toes under, lift your left knee off the mat, and spin that back foot in parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. So you have your warrior two legs. You can stay up onto your right fingertips, and we're going to reach left arm up and over. Big side bend here. Keep sinking the hips down low. And now push your feet into the floor to come all the way up, Virabhadrasana 2. You might need to readjust your stance a little bit here if you notice that your feet are shifting. Palms facing down, shoulders over your hips, and sink down low as you push your right knee open. Let's reverse, left hand down, right arm up. And bring both hands down to the mat. We're going to transition from here into our pigeon pose. So you're going to bring your right knee behind your right wrist and maybe straighten out that back leg. Shift your weight a little here. And first thing in the morning, you might just want to work on the pose, staying up nice and tall. Or if you'd like, you can start to ease your way down. We'll take 5 full deep breaths here. And you might imagine this sacral chakra located through the area of your pelvis, a little bit below your navel, as a glowing jewel, bright orange. I am creative. I am sensitive. I am fluid. I am in touch with my emotions, my creative power, whatever resonates with you here. One more big breath. And we'll start to walk our hands back in. Instead of going to down dog, find tabletop pose. And just maybe take a few hip circles here. You can go in both directions. And now let's find Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. You can walk your hands a little bit past your shoulders, tuck your toes under, and lift up and back. As much or as little movement as you need this morning. Still think of extending through your arms, reaching your chest towards your thighs. And this time our left leg stretches up. Go ahead and bend your left knee, open up your hip. Really get that knee up nice and high. And we're going to step the left foot, kind of taking the place of our left hand. Back right knee comes down to the mat, and I'm keeping my left knee pretty much directly over the top of my left ankle. Try to soften your shoulders. Let gravity pull your hips down a little bit lower. And maybe close your eyes to bring your focus inward, checking in with how you feel this morning. We can take the winged lizard variation by lifting the left toes up and rolling to the outer edge of that left foot. You might feel this a little bit more towards your outer glute and outer hip. We'll bring our foot flat to the floor again. We're coming into our variation of our warrior two. So you're going to tuck the back toes under, lift your back knee up, spin so that you have your right foot flat to the floor, parallel towards the back of your mat. And you might want to come up onto your left fingertips as you bring your right bicep along your ear, diagonal line from your right hand all the way down to your back right foot. Using your left arm to push your knee open a little more. And now press the feet into the floor, root to rise up, Virabhadrasana 2. You might need to readjust slightly. Trying to get your front thigh parallel to the mat. Let's reverse, right hand down, left arm up. And bring both hands to frame your front foot. Setting ourselves up for our pigeon pose. So the left knee ends up being somewhere behind your left wrist. Notice if you're leaning on one hip more than the other. Perfectly fine to stay up nice and high. We're just trying to wake up our body, noticing sensations. And if it's accessible, you can always lower down. Just make sure this doesn't make you hold your breath or tense up in any way. You might close your eyes and visualize that glowing energetic center, finding balance within this space of being in touch with your creativity, with your sensuality, your sensitivity. One more breath here. And you can start to lift your way up. We'll come back tabletop pose again, just for those same hip circles. No real right or wrong way to do this one. Make sure you're going in both directions. And let's come to take a seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Because these are shorter classes, I like to finish in a seated meditation instead of shavasana, especially in the morning so you don't fall back asleep. And let's bring our right hand to the lower belly, left hand over top, making this connection. Choosing your intention for the day ahead, maybe with a word or one of these short affirmations, like I am creative, or sensitive, connected to the flow of life, in tune with your emotions, in tune with sensuality, sexuality. Join your hands together at the front of your heart. We'll chant Om together one time. Inhale to chant. Breathe in. Om. Thank you so very much for doing this short morning yoga practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make this a habit. Practice with me every morning, and I would love to know what your intention is today, what affirmation connected with you. Just leave me a comment below before you go, and hopefully I'll practice again with you tomorrow morning.